realise life's for living and do everything you want to do every day.
If we really wanted to make it, we needed to move to London. So we packed up all of our stuff and we did it.
I'm not a rich man, but I'm not a poor man. But yeah, it's just been a time for reflection the last 2 years and just thinking, what's it all about?
Having to actually care for a human on a minute-to-minute basis, and because you're sustaining them, you're literally responsible for them to keep them alive.
It was too fast-paced. I felt almost like a rat race there, you know? Everyone each to their own.
Hiya. So this week I wanted to ask a more deep and meaningful question to the people of Brighton. I wanted to know if they've ever experienced a moment in time that's made them change the course of their life. No, I'm not just looking for negative stories, I'm also interested in the positive realisations that have changed people's futures. Now before we get started, if you're a fan of Easy English and you're not subscribed yet, then do so below, and if you want to help support myself and Easy to continue making Easy English videos, then become a member with this link. Welcome to Easy English. Here we go. Tell me your life-changing moment.
My life-changing moment was when my wife's sister, unfortunately, was lost to leukemia. And it made me realise life's for living and do everything you want to do every day.
And how long ago was that?
15 years.
15 years ago. Do you have like a life-changing moment in your mind?
My life-changing moment for myself was moving to Brighton, because it's a lovely area, very calm and relaxing, but a lot of opportunity still. Yeah. I come from quite a dead-end place. Well, I wouldn't say it's dead-end, but not as much opportunity. Yeah. And it's more of a younger crowd, easier go with the flow place here, and perfect energy.
Life-changing moment for me was definitely making the move over to the UK from South Africa with my husband. That was a huge life-changing thing for me.
Okay, and what led you to do that?
Me and my husband are both tattoo artists, and we kind of felt like if we really wanted to make it, we needed to move to London. So we packed up all of our stuff and we did it. And now we've been here for 3.5 years, and we love it.
Yeah, so can you tell me your kind of life-changing moment?
Living in Australia, I employ a lot of people in my business. And I spent 2 years during COVID trying to assist everyone else, and maybe I lost sight of my own issues. So it made me reflect after COVID, reflected what life was really all about, and in terms of finances and stuff, and I've brought forward my retirement to this year, and basically smell the roses.
I was an artist manager, so I was dealing with kind of everything. Yeah. I was working in with an artist sort of business structure, and it's a lot more intense pressure because you're working with everything that the artist wants to do on a day-to-day basis. You know, the relationships can become quite strained and quite toxic and stuff like that. And I'd been doing it for so long. I did it for over 10 years, and you get sort of sucked into it, and you're carrying other people's pressures, and it can be hard to put it down because it's a round-the-clock job. It made me realise that having the kid on top of COVID, coming in and shutting everything down and making me kind of reassess my own priorities, it made me realise that actually, with no reflection on any of the artists I worked with, but I was very unhappy in the job, and I wasn't happy with the lack of boundaries. I wasn't happy with the pressure that was on me in that situation, and I reconnected with a lot of music and realised that in a lot of ways, even though I was working in music, I'd lost my love for it in a lot of ways, because I was seeing too much how the sausage was made in a
good phrase.
You know, in a negative way. I was seeing too behind the curtain, and all of those things kind of stacked up, and it made me take a dive. I basically took a voluntary redundancy from a relatively well-paid job.
Big step.
Yeah, to nothing.
Wow.
In order to kind of connect reconnect with my desire to work creatively.
Are you an English learner, teacher, or just want to support myself and Easy's work here at Easy English? Then become an official Easy English member with the link up here. Becoming an Easy English member helps us to carry on creating videos for you, and in return, we'll give you learning extras such as a transcript, a vocabulary list, worksheets, and also audio and video downloads. Our worksheets test your knowledge on the more extensive vocabulary and British slang used in each of our episodes. In the worksheet, you'll be asked to fill in multiple choice questions, and at the end, there's a fun odd ones out game. So to improve your level on understanding authentic English conversation, become an Easy English member now. Now back to the episode. And so what kind of changed 15 years ago in your life because of that?
Stop working so hard, make sure I had time for my kids, my family, and realise that every day is a blessing.
So kind of live each day kind of vibe. Yeah. And how's that going? Do you still kind of have that? Is that something you always wake up thinking about?
It's what time is it? 11 o'clock on a Monday morning. I'm in Brighton. And I should have been in Leicester. So yeah, I'm still living it.
Are you skiving off work?
Yeah, I'm skiving off work.
So you really are doing it?
I'm really doing it, man.
Wow, okay, that's brilliant.
Some of my friends moved down the year before, and I felt they enjoyed it so much, and I felt like it was a time for me. Like I moved to London for a bit, and it was just too fast paced for myself.
Me too.
It was too fast paced. I felt almost like a rat race there. You know, everyone each to their own. Yeah. And I feel like Brighton's more like a community, almost like a small town. Everyone knows everyone.
I was going to ask you, what are some good points of why people should move to Brighton?
Well, number one, obviously the city, lovely people. Yeah. Just a lot of good opportunity.
And then because when you were in London, you came from London to Brighton, or you went back to Surrey?
I went back to Surrey for a bit. I only lived in London for about a year. I was doing insurance work, and I felt like, you know what, that wasn't really for me, being behind a desk and everything. And I wanted to get out and about. You know, I started working on the site for a bit, and I've loved it, honestly. And there's a lot of space around here, a lot of everything's being, built up around here, and I felt it's a good opportunity. But now I'm moving and doing bar work, and like I say, there's so much opportunity, different choices around here.
Are you a creative as well?
Yeah, I am a creative. I do music, and I feel like it's a good area for that as well. Lots of just lovely people in general who are very open to new opportunities and that.
And was it a spontaneous kind of thing, or was it very well planned and conceived?
We had been thinking about it for since we'd visited, so it was about a year, and it took a year to kind of get all of our paperwork together. So yeah.
I imagine it's not so easy to...
It was hard, it was difficult.
Yeah.
But we did it, and now we're here.
Congratulations.
And we survived COVID.
And do you have a tattoo shop now open?
We don't own one. We work for... I work for two different tattoo shops in London. The one is called Cloak and Dagger, and it's just off Brick Lane. And then the other one's called Seven Doors, which is also just off Brick Lane. So one's at the top, one's at the bottom.
And when you say specific tattoos, what do you mean? Is it you said that UK?
A lot of traditional tattoos.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like the sailory stuff?
Yeah, exactly. Like
is there a name for it?
You can call it that, yeah.
Sailory stuff.
It's fine. A lot of people call it that. A lot of people just call it American traditional. You can call, or just traditional, whatever you want to call it.
Nice. And do you regret your life change at all?
No, not at all. If anything, I feel like I've grown a lot since I've been here, and I've made really great friends, and work has just taken off better than I could have hoped. So all round good decision. That's
good to hear. Congrats. And so then have you now moved to the UK? Or
No, I'm on holiday. We had a tour planned around, believe it or not, a Garth Brooks concert this weekend in Dublin. And my wife, being the Minister for Planning in our business, or in our family, decided to build an 8-week holiday before the concert. So we left Australia in July, and we're just coming to the end. We've been in Italy, we've been in Cornwall.
Wow.
St Ives and Glasgow, my hometown, and now down with family in Brighton, heading to Dublin on Thursday, and then home next week to Australia.
Bloody hell. My next question was going to be, and how's your life decision doing for you right now? But it sounds like it's just all rosy.
Well, I'll be honest, the change, I'm struggling, to be honest, in terms of mentally, just with I've worked since I was 15, so I'm 65. I've been in business a long, long time, employing hundreds of people over the years. And honestly, I'm struggling with the concept of not working anymore and not getting up at 5:30 every day, because I love my job. But I'll ease my way into it. And see what the next chapter in my life's got. I want to give back. I want to look after homeless kids and see if I can maybe point them in the right direction.
I was going to say, how do you intend to sort of spend once you return from your holidays, to spend your free time?
I've got a thing, obviously divorce rates in Australia, for instance, are every second marriage ends in divorce, which means that children don't have a father figure, possibly, to show them the way, and then they go to crime. I'm hoping that maybe myself and some other people, possibly some federal funding from Australia, that we can put these kids into careers and show them that you don't have to steal, you don't have to break into people's homes. We can show you, if you learn a trade and get a job, you might be able to be successful. And that's my goal next.
You're going to be a philanthropist, are you? Kind of. Something like this.
Yeah, a bit of my money and a bit of more of the government's, I might add. I'm not a rich man, but I'm not a poor man. Nice. But yeah, it's just been a time for reflection the last 2 years and just thinking, what's it all about?
And how's it going now then?
Great, yeah, very happy.
Super happy.
Yeah.
Nice. Do you sort of have contacts with people who did the same thing you did and like think, I'm not involved in that anymore?
Yes, yeah.
There's a lot of that, is there?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, in management, it'll either it can sort of crush you, and people will just leave music entirely. And I know that. I know a lot of people that have left music entirely because the pressure of being either an artist or being a manager or whatever has just completely crushed their love for it. And I could see that was what was happening to me. And that's why I decided to shift gears.
So you're not bitter about the whole experience at all because you got out of there quick enough?
Not at all. I have memorabilia from my time in management hung on my walls. Like I'm happy that I sort of did it in the end.
Yeah.
But I'm also very, very happy that I got out.
I'm interested in hearing your stories about how small or big moments have changed the course of your life, positive or negative. Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching this week's episode, and we'll see you next week. Ta-ra!